Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this video basically is going to be about the Civil War in the ghetto. Civil War in the ghetto. Now I know you probably ain't never heard it kind of like that, huh? But unfortunately, that's what it's come to. That's what it's come to. Is spiritual war in the ghetto. Now people say, what do you mean spiritual war in the ghetto? Are you trying to turn black people against black people? Are you trying to turn ghetto people in poverty against each other? No, 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 sir. I'm not trying to do that. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is all the black on black crime is not going to stop until the evil is confronted. You got thugs in the neighborhood. You got pimps, gangsters, gangbangers, boosters, crack addicts, heroin addicts, pill addicts, you know, prostitutes, sexual johns. What else? Gamblers, hustlers in general. You know what I mean? You got all this going on. And then you have evil people that just want to go around and harm people just at the drop of a hat. You know the type, you step on their shoes, they're ready to pull their gun out. That type of guy. That type of guy is not the thug and the gangster, because the thug and the gangster ain't trying to go to jail. The thug and the gangster is not trying to start waves in the water and make themselves hot. If you selling drugs, why are you trying to make yourself hot? If you are a real criminal, why would you make yourself hot because somebody stepped on your shoes? I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? People are no longer drug dealers. They're reckless individuals. They're not drug dealers. They're not thugs. They're reckless individuals that are needed to be weeded out of the community. Because see, even thugs, what white people may not know, white Americans may not know, even thugs have principles. Oh yeah, yeah. You may not be aware of the principles, but they do have them. We do have among us thugs and gangsters and criminals with principles. I know it may seem like an oxymoron, being that they're criminals. However, they do have principles that they live by, you know. But among us, back to the community, among us are those who don't have the principles of thugs and gangsters. Now you see that set up? They don't have the principles of the thugs and the gangsters, but they are camouflaged as if they are the such. This type of individual, these reckless individuals, these zombie-like individuals. And I don't judge a book by a cover. It may not be the person that you think it is, but then it may be the person that you don't think it is, that are the reckless individuals in the community. Just because someone has even a rag on their head, or they may have tattoos all on their face and arms and sleeves of tattoos, that doesn't mean they're the reckless person in the neighborhood. That does not mean that. Don't get me wrong. It may be the person that got the suit on, wearing casual stuff, loafers and stuff. That's the guy that's the problem in the ghetto. The loafer wearing guy. That part. The guy that's wearing loafers. That part. Okay? So it's not a certain look, don't get me wrong. It's not a certain look, man. It's a certain perspective and a lack of principles and a certain behavior. This is what's going to cause the civil war in the community. This is what's going to cause it. Because eventually Africans are going to conclude that, hey, this can no longer stand. We can no longer stand with this type of individual. And see, you've been holding it off for too long. You know why you've been holding it off? Because you have been seeing them as yourself. You have been seeing them as your own family. But why are they killing your family then? Why are they killing the people among you at a drop of a hat and killing your children? So you're forced to a civil war, unfortunately. Let's be 100 about it. You thought that eventually some white man and his forces was going to come against the ghetto. That's what everybody was thinking. Come on, man. You ain't think that? Everybody thought that. Everybody thought some kind of martial law type community was going to be formed out of the communities that we live in, right? Some type of police state type of community, martial law type of community, / martial law type of community, police state / martial law type of community. That's what most black people was waiting for. But what has actually happened in all actuality is that there is now brewing a civil war in the ghetto. And I'm telling you, you can deny it. You can sit up here and deny it and act like we can eventually get along. No, with these people, no. Because they're not, listen to all the gangsters and killers and even mercenaries. Listen to this. They're not thugs. They're not gangsters. And they're young. They're bent on, a lot of them are young and they're bent on, and not all of them are young, but many of them are young and they're bent on killing people at the drop of a hat. We can't have people in the community bent on killing people at the drop of a hat. You drop a hat, they're ready to kill you. You made them drop their hat, they're ready to kill you. I remember kids being like that in high school. Not as fully grown men. You're 16, you know your shoes mean everything. You gotta wear them. You don't got no money, really. Most of them kids don't. And those shoes gotta last at least to Christmas. Or your birthday. Which one ever come first? Schools usually start around what? July, August. So boom. You know, you might get some at the end of summer. Your birthday might come before Christmas. If not, you gotta wait till Christmas. Or try to say something about a new year at the top of the year and get some shoes then from your parents. It's a new year, I need new shoes. It'd be nice to have some new shoes for the new year. But, you a grown man. You shouldn't be worried about nobody stepping on your shoes. But this is the mentality. You bumped into me. What's wrong with you? That's how people was in school. Getting in fights and stuff. Getting in fights because of stepping on somebody's shoes. And it's just an ignorance. To me, these are not the thugs. These to me are what I call the zombies among us. And you can think it's cool. You can think it's all good. You can think that way. And chalk it off as your own people. and but at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, okay, it, does that represent my mentality? Does it represent my heart? Does it represent my soul? Going out here killing people over dice games. Okay? Killing people over dice games. Is that my mentality? Killing people over dice games. Is that my mentality? Uh, Ready to kill somebody because they felt your girl's butt. In my city, where I'm from, in Charlotte, North Carolina, somebody got killed back in the day for giving a dude's girl $1. He gave the female $1. $1. Not $2, not $5, not $10, not 50 or 100. It's precisely $1. That's 4 quarters. That dude died for giving a girl 4 quarters, man. It might have been change, I don't know. It might have been $1 and change. I really don't know. Might have been. Because who gives somebody $1? If I give you $1, I may give you $2, $3. Anyway, he gave the girl $1 and died. This is because the dude came out the store reckless, probably had an argument, whatever. But it escalated from $1, giving the girl $1, right? Come on, man. Giving the girl $1, man? Giving the girl $1. Really? And that dude's still in the grave right now for giving the girl $1. This is the kind of stuff I'm telling. That's the most reckless story from my city where I'm from. I think so. Off the cuff, that I can think about. That's about the worst. And from my side of town, that's about the worst story I've heard from where I'm from. And I'm sure you got the ridiculous stories too. But let's get past all the stories, right? Let's get past all the stories of the foolishness. Let's get to the crust of the matter. There's going to be eventually a civil war among Africans. I've already sensed this as a prophet of God. I have. It's a war between the righteous African and the wicked African. And see what's going to happen. The righteous African is going to be seen as the sellout. The righteous African is going to be seen as the person that's out of touch. The righteous African is going to be seen as, you see that? You feel it? The righteous African is going to be seen as the person that is cooning for the white people. That's but in all actuality, this is the part you forgot about. Righteousness. Something that Africans are aware of. Now, I can't speak for other, no disrespect, but I can't speak for other ethnicities. If all I can speak for is Africans when it comes to this. Well, not just Africans. I know some good whites and Hispanics that know about righteousness. But culturally speaking, here in America, you don't really see a sense of spirituality in other cultures as deeply as you do with Africans. They wear crosses. They get tattoos of crosses and scriptures. They talk about God all throughout, their culture. The only problem with that is that's not enough, and the rubber's meeting the road. Now it's time to decide whether you're going to be a righteous African or a wicked African. That's a 7. Because what you want to holler out is, oh, that person might be racist. No, 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 no. See, in all actuality, if you are a righteous African, you're starting to feel the separation. And people are misinterpreting your spirit separating. Think about it now. Your words are bringing separation. Your mentality is bringing separation. And ultimately, your spirit and soul is being separated from the wicked Africans. And we can no longer say we're family. It's about to be 2 families now. The wicked African family and the righteous African family. You want me to give you a perfect example? It's almost prophetic. You remember the movie Us? The movie Us. You remember that movie Us? There was the righteous African family in the movie Us, and there was the wicked African family. Right or wrong, guys? It makes sense, right? That's off the cuff. Because, everything in life lines up when you're talking right. Does that make sense? You start to take from life to explain and articulate the revelations that you're getting. The righteous African and the wicked African. Look at that movie Us. That's a perfect example. Look the same, but one family was righteous and one family was wicked. And it got tricky which one was wicked and which one was righteous. It gets tricky. I know you think everybody you think the Africans that's in everybody's face are the Africans that's the righteous ones. You think the righteous Africans are the ones that's going to all the block parties and picnics and going to all the shows and everything and hanging out, eating chicken with everybody. Sitting around drinking beers with everybody, eating chicken, listening to old 90s music. You think that's the righteous Africans? Come on. Come on. Keep it 100. And you think the righteous Africans that's separated, they're weird. Oh, we're weird. See how quiet it got? We're the weird Africans. No, you know what comes first? Righteousness. Then who I am as a ethnicity comes next. And then me being righteous, I pick what I engage in, for the most part, according to the righteousness of God, not according to the African nature in me. I've tried it; it doesn't work. Most of us at a certain age, by the time we get a certain age, we've tried consuming things based on our African nature, and we learned that didn't work, and it didn't get us too far, did it? Being a dope dealer, most people would say, hey, it didn't get me too far. You have successful ones here and there, just like the recording industry. You have successful recording artists, and you have people who've been making songs all their life. It's the same thing with the dope game. A lot of people regret they even got involved. A lot of people regret they even started smoking weed. Weed now. So you learn to put not your African nature first, whether it be listening to the music, engaged in the culture, engaged in African things according to the American culture. According to the American culture, you learn to not engage in the things that are of the African nature per se from the American culture per se. And you learn to consume according to righteousness, no ethnicity. And that's where you have the righteous African that now understands that he or she does not have to be a part of the African consumptions, what the Africans consume, even down to what we eat. Oh, you don't eat no pork? You don't eat no chitlins? You ain't black. No, I'm learning to take care of my body. How about that part? You don't eat this fast food? This the spot over here. You must not be black, boy. Hey, maybe I'm taking care of my body. Maybe the righteousness that God is leading me to is making me more concerned with my health. Maybe I'm looking at these things as unclean according to the Bible. But I'm not black according to you because that's African consumptions. And because I'm not consuming what you consider are the African consumptions, then I must not be African. But righteousness comes first with the righteous African. So now that's why he looks so upright. That's why she looks so upright, because we're pursuing righteousness, not African consumptions. I gotta make a video on this too. And this is where you get people thinking, well, you a sellout. That boy's weird. That girl, she a little strange. Well, they gonna see you like that when you don't look like they look. When you don't think like they think. When you don't, that's gonna produce a certain aura. If I don't perceive as you perceive and I don't think as you think, my aura is not going to be as yours. I'm not gonna radiate the energy that you're radiating. That's a 7. So we get called all kind of names like slow, retarded, stupid, dumb, naive, green, because we're walking in the righteousness of God. And that righteousness doesn't make us look shiesty. I hit it right there. Right there. So because I don't carry myself with that shystiness, I don't look like a shyster, then you say we slow, you say we green, you say we retarded. Well, maybe I'm not shysty. I know you ain't heard that word in a while, have you? Maybe I'm not shysty. Maybe I'm not greasy. Maybe I'm consuming righteousness, and because when you look in my eyes, you see the righteousness of God. And because I don't have African consumptions, you take me as green, retarded, slow, weird, even perverted, whatever else they can come up with. Because we walk in the righteousness of God. We are righteous Africans. I got to lay this groundwork so you understand why there is going to be an African civil war in the ghetto. Let's put it like this. In order for the African American experience to survive, because we can't depend on famous people who don't never really do anything. So let's talk to the people that's down here. In order for the African experience to survive, there has to be a separation. Whether you want it to be, listen, you could think I'm playing chess and trying to divide your community, or you could be real with yourself. I just had to throw it out there, man. I don't need to separate anybody. What I'm doing is I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't listen. I don't have to do that. Honestly. I'm showing you what the white man can't show you. How he gonna show you this? Well, you know, there's the righteous African and there's the wicked African. How he know? How he know? All he knows, we all together and we should be together and love each other in unity. But he don't understand the wiring and the mechanics of the African community. And this is why people like me are necessary. Because no one else is going to do it. You ain't going to do it because you don't want to be esteemed as a sellout. And the white man can't do it. The Mexican can't do it. How the Mexican come? How he going to come tell you about your community? Well, you have the righteous African and you have the, I'm not trying to pick. You have the righteous African, you have the wicked African. Hola, you have the righteous African, you have the wicked African. How is the Mexican man gonna tell you? How he gonna tell you what your community is? How he gonna tell you? He can't tell you, can he? How can they Puerto Ricans tell you? How can they tell you about the righteous African and the wicked African? Do you see what state you in? How the Asian man gonna tell you? How is the Asian man gonna tell you about the wiring and the mechanics of the African American community? You can't make this up, guys. You have to live it to know it. You have to be among the people to know it. There's no way in the world a Hispanic or Latino, no disrespect. You know, I'm just saying, I'm just putting myself in the person of a Mexican. A Mexican saying, hola, you know, here's the difference between the African, righteous African and the wicked African. You gonna look at him like he crazy. That's why we have problems with them trying to politic with us, because you really don't know the wiring and the mechanics. That's a 7. That's a 7. You can't tell me nothing about me. You can't try to see me. This is what makes the African here in America unique, because no one can see him. That's a 7. Well, how you gonna see me as a Mexican? You ain't going through what I'm going through. You don't know the history of what we're going through. What? Because we share a little poverty? Many people share poverty. Many races share poverty. Poverty does not make you share my experience, buddy. That's a 7. No, it's more than the poverty, buddy. It's more than the poverty when you're watching people get shot down on TV. Live on TV. That part. Where people are rioting all across the country. You do not share in my experience. And it's not making me better than you or you better than me. I'm saying, let's be 100. That's all I'm saying. Let's be 100. Okay, you feel the culture, you like the music, you like how it moves and jives and everything, right? That's great. That's cool. Ain't got nothing wrong with that. But when you start playing politics, that's where we got to stop you right there. That's where you have crossed the line. And you got so comfortable, hear this part very closely, so you don't get offended. You got so comfortable with the culture that we presented to you that you started to feel like you could be in our politics. That's a 7, Al. You can't be in my politics because you just good with the culture. Because you listen to a little rap and you turn up and smoke a little loud. You know, you got a little pack of loud and you think you can politic? I'm sorry, bro. Hey, you got a couple black friends. That's them. That's them. You can't come politic on some culture that you are not a part of and you don't know the wiring and the mechanics of. And I have to be 100. This is where it gets deep. This is where it gets unique for the African. No man can follow him all the way. That's a 7. How you gonna follow me all the way? You don't live this life, man. When you step outside, your experience is different from my experience. Police look at me a little bit different than they look at you. And you can say we black and brown, we all together. They look at you slightly different than they look at me. And you can sit up here and lie to yourself. You can have an afro. You can wear Nike. You can wear Gucci. You can wear Adidas. You can do all of that. But you know, like I know, the police look at you and me a little different. They look at your women a little different than they look at mine. They look at my woman like she might be a booster. Oh, you don't want to be 100 about that. Because in all actuality, we do have boosters among us. But we don't get the benefit of the doubt, though. That's what you're supposed to give every man. You're supposed to give every man the benefit of the doubt, whether there's hustlers among us, thugs among us, killers among us, boosters and tricks and Johns among us. You still have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt that you're not that. But they don't do that. They're not intelligent enough to do that. That's a 7 out. Well, if you was intelligent, you would know everybody ain't no booster. Everybody ain't getting up in the morning and boosting at the grocery store. And you got some people that do. You got some people that go to your grocery store and they go boost. And, you know, if you ain't got no alarms, ain't much they can do about it. You walk in, you walk out. What they gonna say? Why you walk in and why you walk out? That part. You walked out empty-handed. We want to search you, sir. They ain't gonna put themselves in that situation. So all I'm saying is this, man. Listen to the right.